We're talking about Brandon Aiyuk.
Yes.
Should they pay him? Will they pay him? Is he going to get traded? I don't know if he's going to get traded. They want a decision made, and apparently that deadline, according to WEEI in Boston, is 9 o'clock Pacific time. So right as we sign off,
Perfect timing.
Colin Coward here will
Hello.
have exactly all of the breaking news.
Yeah.
We were on from 6 to 10. Picked a media day. It's going to really bother me. But Colin will probably have it. Should you pay a receiver? I find this an interesting conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about this with Jefferson. We had a random debate of who is better between Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jalen Waddle.
Yes, we did.
The top 5 guys paid at that position are Jefferson, Brown, St. Brown, Hill, Waddle. Adams is a very close 6. DJ Moore, I thought, gave Chicago a very team-friendly deal now that they're on the Caleb contract. And you mentioned Brock Purdy needs to get paid. Brandon Aiyuk has all the advanced analytics in his favor. He runs the best routes. He runs the deepest routes. His yards per catch are amazing. However, there are elements of his game that from time to time as a Niner fan, I would tell you, like, again, first of all, they're in a run system. They're a run-first system.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, I've seen him in the Super Bowl. 3 catches, 40 yards. Yay. I think he's one of those, it could go either way. He goes to Cleveland and has success, wouldn't be shocked. Goes to New England, has success, wouldn't be shocked.
Having sex in New England.
He's going to have sex
He's
in New
gonna have
England.
a lot.
I mean, let's just be honest.
Dude, he's going to have a ton of sex in New
He's
England.
going to have a ton of sex no matter where he goes.
No, dude, get right to the meat.
And he'll have success as well.
Yeah.
Okay? How's Green Bay look without Devontae Adams? Romeo Dobbs, Christian Watson,
Yeah.
Musgrave,
1 year
Jordan
in, pretty
Love,
solid. Or 2 years in, right?
2 years in,
Yeah.
pretty solid. Kansas City, what have they done post Tyreek Hill? Top 100, number 1 player, according to all the players in the league.
They've been okay.
Super Bowl.
Oh,
Multiple.
didn't even really have. You know who caught the game-winning catch? Mecole Hardman,
Yeah.
who started the year with the Jets.
Yes.
I think you can go through the list of wide receivers, and I think some teams, I totally get it. I don't fault teams for wanting to pay the position. I also see the other side of, sorry, dude, we're in salary cap hell.
Mm-hmm.
And wide receivers becoming a very increased kind of pseudo running back spot in some ways of you kind of just find all these dudes all of a sudden because it's such a deep positional group. And so I kind of get both sides here. If they pay him, cool. I love Aiyuk. I'd be happy. If they trade him because they don't want to pay $28+ million a year, yeah, totally understand. Address the offensive line. Cornerback might be a problem with Ward coming up for them.
Yeah.
It's not easy to navigate this stuff. Bill Barnwell has a good breakdown of how you figure out life in the salary cap, and it is easier to write about it than to actually navigate it. But he says, like, teams have to make decisions and basically pick, like, 3 to 4 guys and
That
say,
you want to pay.
these are who we're paying, and the rest of you, good luck.
And I feel like the Niners have already picked 5 guys before even paying their quarterback and paying Brandon Aiyuk, and that's why this is so challenging for them. I think a lot of this question revolves around what's your salary cap situation, what's your quarterback situation. So for New England, again, it makes sense. You have, whether it's Joe Milton or Drake May, you have a quarterback on a rookie deal that's going to be affordable, likely if it's May for the next 5 years. You have some salary cap wiggle room. You've been looking for, how long have the New England Patriots been looking for a weapon? That's been the storyline about New England for like a decade now.
Since Gronk retired and Randy Moss left.
Even the last 3 years under Brady, I was like, dude, who the hell is he throwing to? He's got nobody left. That was part of the reason he wanted out of there at the end of it. So they've been desperate for a weapon. They have money to spend. Like, it makes sense there. I also think there's guys, like, it's the old, what's the definition of porn? I don't know how to describe it, but I know it when I see it. Like, I feel like number 1 wide receivers are that in the NFL.
You don't think there's a chance that he is, and we haven't seen it because they are a run-dominant team?
And I don't mean this in a disrespectful way to Brandon Aiyuk at all.
You don't need to preface it.
He's a very good wide receiver.
He is. He's a very good
is
wide
he
receiver.
Justin Jefferson?
No.
Use your eyes. Tell me, is he Tyreek Hill?
Well, no.
No. Like, so, I mean, is he Jamar Chase? Is he Cooper Kupp?
Well, we argued about what I don't even know if he's Amon-Ra St. Brown. And
He might not
I have
even
him
be.
in a high regard, so I don't know.
I feel like you watch some of these guys and you know it immediately, and they are instant no-brainers for their organizations of, we're paying this guy. I don't care what he asks for. I don't care what he wants. And I think that was the example in the Justin Jefferson trade.
What about Devontae?
He is so good.
He was a clear number one.
He was a clear number one. And this is the irony that I was actually going to say and connect to Brandon Aiyuk of sometimes you do have to be careful what you wish for. Like, I know we can use the example of Green Bay's fine without him. Like, let's see long term. They still eventually have to develop a number one wide receiver, and we'll see what that means for them long term. Kansas City has won 2 Super Bowls, but they've done it on the back of incredible management, an all-time great quarterback, and an all-time great head coach. Kansas City is uniquely built to handle the departure of Tyreek Hill, and they still have one of the best tight ends we've ever seen in the NFL. How do you think Davante Adams feels about forcing his way out of Green Bay and getting his contract?
It's a lot of noise.
He wants to murder Jimmy Garoppolo. He tried to kill him on the sidelines last year.
I know,
because he almost got him killed. And so that would be my message to Brandon Aiyuk of just sometimes be careful what you wish for, man. Like 22 or not 22, that might be disrespectful. $24 million in San Francisco or $29 million in New England, but Drake May's getting your head torn off going over the middle every time.
Or you're not getting the football.
Or you're not getting the football because your offensive line sucks and he can't throw it and it's cold. And is that what you want? And so sometimes be careful what you wish for. But I feel like with number one wide receivers, for the most part, you see it when you know it, and I think Brandon Aiyuk is a very good wide receiver. I don't view him as a number one. Let's give that guy $30 million a year.
He'd be a tough player to replace. This was a difficult day for me and Andrew Nemec. We text about Niners stuff. He's really like, like he is a diehard. And we were just talking back and forth, and I was like, I don't know why. I should have put this together when they drafted the precise route runner in the first round.
Yes, that's literally drafted his replacement.
I mean, the way he plays is more, I think, equivalent to Aiyuk. And in my brain, I went to, they're going to trade Debo because I just thought they were going to pay Aiyuk. The thing that seems, according to Matt Mayoko, that shook all of this up, and again, we'll see. Maybe he stays. I just find all of this interesting in team building because a lot of Buffalo had to make this decision this year. It's like, hey, Stephon, you're kind of a headache. Offense was better when we stopped forcing the football to you. Good luck in Houston.
Yeah, you complain a lot. We don't want you anymore.
The thing I noticed about Houston, and we said this in the moment, Houston didn't dive into anything long term. They were like, we'll pick up your 1-year option.
Yeah, they restructured his deal.
1 year.
Yeah.
We'll see what you are, and then we'll make our pick. You can certainly make arguments for a lot of dudes. I don't know. It's going to be interesting by 9 o'clock this morning, our time, to see what he decides. He doesn't want to go to Cleveland or New England, reportedly. It was Washington or Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh bowed out.
The Steelers felt like they had him all day. That was what Twitter was telling me. He was going to Pittsburgh.
Mayoko, in his emergency pod last night that I listened to this morning, said the thing that may have changed everything here is the St. Brown contract, that he thought he was going to get paid, that the Niners thought it was going to be sub 30, and then St. Brown signed his deal. And we talked about this in regards to CeeDee Lamb, and we should have thrown Aiyuk in this.
Mm-hmm.
When these guys keep going, the next guy goes, well, I'm just as good, or I'm better, or I should be paid this. Much like quarterbacks do, except it's not quarterback, it's receiver, and they're dependent on the quarterback. And so now teams are getting pressed. And so St. Brown's deal with the Lions may have changed the math in his mind of, no, I'm just as good as Amaran. I want the same deal. Or right at that number, and San Francisco might have been like, we were going to give you 26, 25. We're not going past 27 and a half, and now that may be where the stalemate is. Again, he may come back as a Niner.
He could.
We don't know how this is going to shake out, but a lot of just kind of interesting reporting going on in regards to this. And there's other guys looming, too. Jamar Chase in Cincinnati. T. Higgins in Cincinnati.
T. Higgins got the 1 year. Was he on the franchise tag this year?
He got tagged,
and then he's going to be a free agent.
Chase didn't get paid, right?
I don't believe so.
He's
Not
still
yet.
looking for his big payday. CeeDee Lamb is looming in Dallas. So
yeah.
I just find all of this, the team building aspect with quarterback contracts, fascinating.
I also think from the 49er angle, I think they have proven a great track record of evaluating and developing talent outside of like Trey Lance and Solomon Thomas.
Dante Pettis, second round
Pettis,
pick.
sure, but also George Kittle, also
Yes.
Deebo Samuel. They have found guys that have been difference makers, and I think they understand and know who is integral and vital to their offense, and the guys that they're willing to maybe let test the waters, and the guys that they're not. They were pretty aggressive in locking Deebo back up. It just took some haggling, but they knew how important he was for the offense. I think if Shanahan and Lynch are looking at Aiyuk saying, "You go ahead, buddy. We feel like we can find this replacement somewhere else or this value somewhere else," I'm leaning on trusting them and what they've done.